Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Alhamdulillahirabbil alamin. Thanks God that today we can meet again in the subject of English for history and history education. And today we are going to listen the student presentation. There's 9 students will present their topic, namely Ramdan Wahyudin, Zaki R. Jailani, Abu Bakar Aij Abdullah, Arifara Sabrina, Fadel B. Saputra, Satria A. Suhara, Iklima Z. Tanjung, M. Rafli Z. N. Ilmi, and Rafina Juliantini. Each student will present about 5 minutes about his topic, and let's we starting our lecturing today by saying together Basmalah. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, my student, let's we listen about the first presentation from Ramdan Wahyudin. Ramdan, your time just 5 minutes, starting from now.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam.
First of all praises to Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala, and I want to say thanks to everyone for your time, and apologize. It is a little bit noise, and in here I will be present my English starts with title The Islamic Entry into the Nusantara. Okay, there are at least 3 stronger theory that explain the coming of Islam to Nusantara. The firstly, the theory of Persia. This theory mentioned is Islam come to Nusantara in the 13th century, believed to be Persia or Iran now. Proof this theory is there are cultural similarities between Persia and Nusantara, such as the anniversary of Karbala in Muharram, and the Halaj teaching from Persia, and Siti Jenar teaching from Nusantara. Then there are similarities calligraphy in Persia and Indonesia. The secondly is the theory of Gujarat. This theory mentioned that Islam came to Nusantara in the 13th century from Gujarat, India. Proof this theory is there are Gujarat influence on tombstone of Malikus Saleh in Sumatra, and there are an old inscription in Sumatra, the old inscription that explain about there are stronger relationship between Nusantara and Indian in the past. The last theory is the theory of Arabia, or the theory of Makkah. This theory mentioned that Islam come to Nusantara from Arabia in the 7th century. In here, I have historical evidence. A letter from King of Sriwijaya, Sri Indrawarman, to Umar bin Abdul Aziz, rahimahullah ta'ala, from Daulah Umayyah Syria. Qala Ibn Asakir said, for your information, Ibn Asakir is ulama Syafi'iyah from 12th century. Kataba Malikul Hindi ila Umar bin Abdul Aziz. The king of Hind sent a letter to Umar bin Abdul Aziz. Bin Malak al-Hindi was Hindi. From the king of Hind and said, Malakul Amlakul Ladhi wa Ibn Alfun Malak wa tahtahu Ibnatun Alfun Malak. The king who became the son of 1,000 kings and commands the daughter of 1,000 kings. Walladhi fi mamlukatin akhani in wal kafir wal aqra. The king who his kingdom overflowed to rivers that grew wood, lime, and field dams. Alladhi yujadu rihuha min isna ashara farsakhan. Hussein had reached 12 farsakh. Walladhi fi marabatati alfun filun wa tahta yadihi alfun malak. The king who rules 1,000 elephants and commands 1,000 other kings. إلى ملك العربي to king of Arabia. أما بعد, after all that, فإن الله قد هداني إلى الإسلام. Certainly Allah has given Allah has given guidance to me. فبعثت إلي رجلا يعلمان الإسلام والقرآن وشرائع الإسلام. Send someone who can teach me Islam, the Quran and Shariat Islam. وقد أهديت لك هدية من المسك والعنبر والنون والكافور. And I will give you misk. Misk is custody oil, and anbar like jewel, and nud and kafur or lime. فأقبلها, so take it. فإنما أنا أخوك في الإسلام. Verily, I'm your Muslim brother. Wassalam, wassalam. This theory was proposed of Buya Hamka, and at contemporary century, this theory was supported by Sheikh Muhammad Naqib Al-Atas. That's all I can say. Thanks for your attention. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuh.
Ramdan, the nice voice is from your from your video, right? Are you teacher?
No, I am not teacher.
The noise voice.
Oh yes, I have just study religion, and I afraid get home. Yeah.
Okay, good. Your presentation is just 5 minutes. Thank you very much. The next presenter is Jaki Jailani. Jaki, time is yours. 5 minutes for presentation, please.
Yeah, thank you for Mr. Wirta. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam.
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 I'm Zakir Zailani. Today I will presentation about the history of development Islam in Indonesia. So first, according to Professor Haidar, that the entry of Islam into various regions in Indonesia is not at the same time. However, historians agree that Sumatra is the first recited by Islam, then continue to the land of Java. This is due to the political situation in Java, namely the weakening of the Majapahit kingdom, which caused the region in the coastal area to embrace Islam. The process developing Islam carried out by the Da'i gave birth to Muslim communities in various regions that support the establishment of Islamic kingdoms. According to Professor Haidar, the development of Islam in Indonesia cannot be separated from the political development. Islamic kingdoms as a political force on the one the hand on and the dakwah spirit, the missionaries greatly influenced the process of Islamization in Indonesia. The first Islamic kingdom in the archaeology was Perlak, which was founded on 1 Muharram 225 Hijriah. Socio-politically, the peak of Islamic influence is mostly easily evidenced by the growth of Islamic kingdom in various parts of Indonesia. The development of Islamic in Indonesia is growing rapidly with the establishment of Islamic kingdom. The development of the Islamic Empire in Indonesia took place between the 13th century and the 18th century. The kingdoms can be divided according to the location of their central government, namely in Sumatra, Java, Sulawesi, and Maluku. The first Islamic kingdom that was founded was the Perak Kingdom. Historical evidence showing that there was an Islamic society and kingdom was reported by Marco Polo from Venice, who stopped at the kingdom of Perak on his way back to Italy in 100 25 years ago. In Perak, Marco Polo also found that there was residents who had embraced Islam and Muslim traders from India who spread Islam. So, following the Perak kingdoms, the Samudra Pasai kingdom was also established. The historical evidence of the existence of this kingdom was written by Ibnu Battuta, a Delhi royal envoy to China. On his way from India to China, Ibnu Battuta stopped at Samudra Pasai and visited the place of Sultan Malik al-Zahir. From the result of his visit to the Islamic kingdom in Sumatra Pasai, it was known that Sumatra Pasai was an important port when India and China's ships stopped. Maybe I think that's all for my presentation. Thank you for Mr. Wirta and everyone for the attention. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Okay, Zaki Jalani, good presentation in 5 minutes. The next presenter is Abu Bakar Aich Abdullah. Abu Bakar, time is yours in 5 minutes, please.
Thank you, Mr. Today, a presentation on establishment of VOC. In 1998, the Dutch Parliament Staten General proposed that the competing companies be merged into trading partnership. So the East India Company, Verenigd Oost-Indisch Compagnie, VOC, was formed. At the beginning of his arrival, the VOC was busy fighting the Portuguese who come first. So is the resistance from the locals in order to be better handle trade and expansion affairs in 1610. The post of Governor General was created. The Governor General Warlord in the Indies was elected by the Council of the Indies Rad van Indie. The first Governor General was Peter Burt. Beginning in 1610, Dutch activities in Asia were controlled by the Governor General. In the archipelago, during the 3 terms of the first Governor General, the VOC was based in Ambon. Despite being the center of spice, Ambon was not included in the strategic Asian trade route. So, to bring the VOC headquarters closer to other trading areas from Africa to Japan, the VOC moved its trading post to Banten in 1610. In this east of Banten, Prince Wijayakrama welcomed VOC trade and traders from other parts of the world. So, in 1611, Governor General Peter Burt
Your points?
Ateliers Jayakarta and its Kalapa Harbor. Later, the Dutch Consulate of Jayakarta and changed its name to Jakarta, then Batavia. Thank you, Mr.
Okay, thank you, Abu Bakar Aich Abdullah, for your presentation. The next presenter is Arifara Sabrina. Arifara, time is yours.
Okay, today I will presentation about the origin of Pontianak City. In Kalimantan, Indonesia, there is an old town called as Pontianak City It is the oldest city in Kalimantan, which has been established for 249 years. This gives many background for the city history. The following is the background we found. The city of Pontianak was founded by Sharif Abdurrahman Al-Qadri on Wednesday, 23 October 1771. Then in 1778, Sharif was appointed the first Sultan of Pontianak. The establishment of the Jami Mosque, which is now called the Sultan Sharif Abdurrahman Mosque, and the Qadariyah Palace located in Dalam Bugis village, is Pontianak district, marked the location of his power. But in the book Borneo's Western Afdeling, Fiji, for a Dutch historian wrote the history of the city of Pontianak, whose contents are slightly different from the stories that are widely circulating today. According to Ferd, the Dutch entered Pontianak in 1194 Hijriah from Batavia. Ferd wrote that Sharif Abdurrahman was the son of the cleric of Sharif Hussein bin Ahmed Al-Qadri, or in another version known as Al-Habib Hussein. Sharif left Mempawah Kingdom and started living overseas. While in Banjarmasin region, Sharif married the younger brother of the Sultan Banjar, Sunan Alam, and was appointed prince. He was successful in trading activities and raised sufficient capital to arm his designer ships and boats. Not longer after that, he started his resistance against Dutch colonialism with the help of the Sultan of Pasir. Sharif succeeded in hijacking the Dutch ships near Bangka, as well as British.
Okay, your voice, your picture, not stable.
Ships in the port of Pasir. After that, Sharif became a well-off man. Koneksinya jelek.
Okay.
Based on the geography's origin. Sorry, sir.
Okay.
Based on the geography's origin, Pontianak has been known as the city of the equator truth, which the latitude 0 degrees of the Earth pass, because it is in a rare position. A monument or equator monument is built in Siantan. In 1782, also keeps a legend that originated from past mythical myths. According to several sources, the name Pontianak originated from the story of Sharif, who was often disturbed by a ghost in the form of Kuntilanak.
Okay. Your connection may be
a canon to this creature, it turns to a long black-haired girl. Okay. Apart from the story, some people also believe that the origin of Pontianak comes from the legend of the Malay community by taking the name from the word Punti trees, which mean tall trees. At the time, the Pontianak area was indeed surrounded by tall trees. This is reinforced by evidence, historical records, a letter between Hussein bin Abdurrahman al-Idris to Sultan Sharif Yusuf al-Qadri. Others say that Pontianak means child gate because the area is dividing between the Kabos River and the Landak River. Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you very much, Arifara. Maybe your internet was troublemaker by Kuntilanak host. Okay. Okay, good idea. We are going to listen for the next presenter, Padel B. Saputra. Padel, time is yours in 5 minutes, please.
Okay, sir. Thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Today I will presentation about history of the Rain City. The city of Bogor has a long history of governance, considering that since the days of the Pajajaran kingdom. According to the available events, such as the Batu Tulis inscription in the name of the village known as Lawang Gintung, Lawang Saketeng, Jerokuta, Baranang Siang, and Lewi Sipatuhanan. Believed that Pakuan as the capital of Pajajaran is located in the city of Bogor. Pakuan as the Pajajaran government center was famous in the government of Kingdom Siliwangi. Sri Baginda Maharaja correction was right on June 3, 1582, which later became the anniversary of Bogor. Because since 1973, it has been set by the Regency of City declared as the anniversary of Bogor and always commemorable every year until now. As the result of the invasion of the Banten army to Pakuan Pajajaran, the regency of the city of Pakuan were lost only to be reflected again after the arrival of the Dutch expansion group led because Scription and Republic in 1687, and they examined the Baturis inscribed, and the sages which found that in Bogor is the center of the Pakuan Pajajaran government. In 1745, Governor General of the Dutch East Indies named Baron van Inhofe built the Bogor village, along with the construction of the dangerous highway connection Batavia with Bogor, so that the situation in Bogor began to develop. During the British occupation, the Governor General was Thomas Raffles. He was quite instrumental in developing the city of Bogor, where the Bogor place was removed and part of the land was turned into Batavia Botanic Garden. He also developed planner named as the front Bogor as resting place known as Wittelsdorp. After the regovernment of the Dutch East Indies in 1903, the Decentralization Act was issued with aim Bonus system with a reference with a modern government system as the read from the statement. The formation of the GIMIT was not for the benefit of the indigenous population, but for the benefit of the Dutch people and the people of the European and Econ group. In 2022, as the result dissension with the extending role of decentralization, the business voting organization was formed and the Act on Change Government Then in 1957, the name of the government contains the Kota Praja Bogor in according with land with the instance the law Bogor Municipality Level 2 and was sent to Bogor City. That all my from presentation. Thank you, sir. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Okay.
Waalaikumsalam.
Daniel Desa Putra for your reading. Okay, the next presenter, Satria Suhara, time issues. Suhara.
Thanks, sir. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam.
Good afternoon, everyone. Let me introduce myself. My name is Satria Suhara. from history education, class 1D. And this is opportunity I work to the questions about history of Villa Isola. I took this title because I am interested in the Isola building, and I find out its history. Starting from Dominic William Beretti, is a rich man and of mixed Japanese Italy descent. He starts his career as a journalist and editor until he became a very successful media entrepreneur. Beretti career took off when he founded the press agency Aneta in Batavia City. Beretti success made him a rich and celebrity person at that time, but many people were not happy with his success and fame. After Beretti became rich, he began the planning the construction of the Villa Isola at the fantastic cost of the 500,000 guilders. From ancient times until now, Bandung is the famous for its very cool air, especially the northern Bandung area or the Lembang.
Okay, your points, your picture, Satria.
I think his disappears somehow. Maybe unstable connectivity.
Trouble in internet. Okay, I think we skip from Satria. We listen.
Maybe continue, sir.
Where is Satria? I think still out from the Zoom meeting, right? Okay, we next presenter, Iklima Zid Tanjung. Time is yours, Iklima. Iklima not here?
Here.
Okay.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Salam.
Hello everyone, my name is Iklima Zulizani Tanjung, and in this day I wanted to presentation about the Padri War in Sumatra. Please enjoy. If we read from several website sources, perhaps what appears when we hear about the Padri War is war between the Adat and the Padri. But the real Padri War was not that. Padri is the name of Islamic reform movement after the burning of the traditional hall by a figure named Haji Miskin, as a pioneer of religion purification on the land in Minangkabau, who was supported by Tuanku Nan Receh, who eventually formed the Harimaunan Salapan, which means a force whose content are the scholars. The task of Harimaunan Salapan is not to fight other peoples, but to combat people's behavior that is not in accordance with Islamic teaching. It is known that the other people have a bad habit, such as fighting, gambling, liquor, opium, and the Harimaunan Salapan is only willing to remind and invite change, which actually not all other people refuse. Many also accept it and immediately. Despite the many upheavals behind this, once upon a time, the Adat group helped the Padri group and vice versa. Tuanku Imam Bonjol role began during the Masang Agreement, where the Dutch reneged on this agreement. An interesting fact about the name Tuanku Imam Bonjol is actually just a synonym for the leader of the Bonjol. When we know about the Tuanku Imam Bonjol, just a synonym name for the leader in Bonjol. The real name of Tuanku Imam Bonjol is Muhammad Shahab. An interesting fact about the name Tuanku Imam Bonjol is actually just a synonym, but the real name is Muhammad Shahab will continue the leadership in Bonjol at the end. His name is attached to him. Tuanku Imam Bonjol is known for his very precise war strategy. Moreover, the Padri have a sniper under the care of Tuanku Imam Bonjol. The Padri War itself began when the Minangkabau accepted the Dutch entry, but seeing the behavior of the Dutch soldiers, they could not stand it, and the worst Minangkabau nationalism, where the Padri, other people, and kingdom fought against the Dutch, which was called the Padri War. I think that's all at my presentation in the Padri War. So thank you. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam
Very much.
warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Tanjung. Good presentation. The next presenter is M. Rafli. Is it an Ilmi?
Yes, sir.
Rafli, time is yours.
I'm here. Yes. Okay, thank you, Mr. Suirta. Previously, my name is Muhammad Rafli Jamil Nurendi. Today, I was going to present about Tutnyadin life in exile. Tutnyadin was exiled because she carried out an attack on the Dutch colonial and was then arrested. But when she was arrested, there were many who wanted to visit his so the Dutch were wary of it, so the Dutch colonial exile is to the Sumedang area in 1906 because it was considered that it will revive the fighting spirit of the Acehnes people. In Sumedang, she was entrusted to the region of Sumedang, Pangeran Arya Surya Atmaja, and was given a house by the region of Sumedang at the house of one of the imams of the Sumedang Mosque, Haji Ilyas. The people of Sumedang really respect this. She is nicknamed the Mother of Perbu, or the Queen Mother, because of Tutnyadin passive and the intelligent in the reading the Quran and her religious knowledge. His daily life is teaching the Quran with Haji Ilyas to surrounding community close to his home. The people of Sumedang did not know who she was until she did in 1908, or 2 years since she arrived. They did not know who and where she came from until 50 years later of 1958. It was discovered who the mother of Perbu had been teaching the Quran the people of Sumedang. She was buried in the Puyuh Mountains, Sumedang. Okay, thank you for attention. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Okay, thank you very much.
Waalaikumsalam.
Roughly, your presentation just 2 minutes. Okay, the last presenter is Rafina Juliantini. Rafina, time is yours.
Okay, Mr. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam.
Hello, everyone. My name is Rafina Juliantini. Here, I will explain a little about the Maluku battle under the leadership Patimura. The first thing I will explain is the background on the fighting in the Maluku area. The first background is the Dutch oppression since the VOC era against the Maluku. The oppression took the form of spice monopoly as well as the honey doctrine, where people cannot plan freely. The second is the implementation of mandatory submission and mandatory work. So the corps planned by the community must be handed over the Dutch as well as their work without wages so they don't get their welfare. The third background is the critical attitude of the Maluku people. The point is the awareness of the people of Maluku that there is something wrong so that they fight back. Then the fourth was made soldier Dutch all must obey the Dutch even to go to war with a control that threatens monopoly. And last one is the payment of goods does not match the order price. Then here are the events and consequences of the Maluku people resistance. On May 15, year 1817, the Maluku people resisted to the Dutch, starting with attacking Posporto and then on to the citadel located in Saparua is the fortress of Rusted. But in the end, Pattimura was cut and hanged in the fortress of Victoria Ambon. The following are some of the characters involved in the battle, namely Thomas Matulesi, better known as Pattimura. Then there is Paulus Tiahahu. Then there is Anthony and Captain Philip Latumahina. And the last one is Marta Christina Tiahahu. Well, that's enough from me. I'm sorry if my words are wrong. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Okay, thank you very much, Rafina Juliantini. Rafina, are you comes from Moluccan Island? Rafina?
Yes.
Do you come from Maluku Island? Didn't understand. Okay. Okay, we have listened about the student presentation, and please, another student starting from now, you make the brief comment and then sending to the WhatsApp group, okay? Not until finish Budiani and me makes the review or comment in order the time is effectively. Okay, Budiani maybe will review or makes the brief comment for all student presentation today. Please, Budiani.
Yes, I have some points here. Thank you, Bapak Sudarta, for having me for the first. You can give the comments for all the presentations. So for the first presenter, that is Ramdan, right? I'm a bit difficult to hear what he said because he have that sound effect. So I cannot clearly what he said, but my point is that I think in terms of title, it should be the Islamic entrance to Nusantara, not the Islamic entry to Nusantara, but the Islamic entrance to Nusantara. So you can switch the title grammatically, and then in terms of articulation, it was quite clear. Apparently, unfortunately, I couldn't hear what he said very clear, but I think just a glimpse of what he said that I can hear that his articulation, it was quite clear. So that's for Ramdan. And then for the next presenter, that is Zaki. I suggest you that you can have more rehearsal in terms of spelling. And I just want to know that have you ever recognized all the vocabulary in your, did you recognize all the vocab? Zaki, did you recognize all the vocab? Do you know all the meaning? Do you know all?
Just a little bit, Miss.
Just a little bit, okay. Okay, so I can see that you still stick to the notes. So for the, I see that you haven't used with the English, but it's okay. Now you can learn from your vocabulary and then your pronunciation, and you can elaborate how to spell all the vocab just like that. And then for Abu Bakar, the third presenter, I suggest you learn how to read numbers, because I see that you, in a way that you spell the numbers, you still have some misspell, and then and make sure you understand all the context instead of memorizing it. So I see that you still attached to the text, so it's okay. Maybe in the next presentation, you can already manage how you can present, how you can deliver all that notes, all that text without looking at the text. Okay, so the fourth presenters, which is that Arifara, if I'm not mistaken, the fourth presenters. I can see that in terms of articulation, you delivered it very well. So yes, so far you can manage all the presentations very well, but unfortunately it did not last due to your unstable connections. So, so your presentation is about toponymy. In our next, in local history, you will learn about the toponymy. Okay, that's for Arifara. And then the fifth presenter, Padel. Okay, the title, it should be the history of the rain city. So you can add the, not history of the rain city, but you can add the history of rain city. Okay, as far as I can see from your PowerPoint, you transfer all the paragraphs instead of making it to the points. So do not transfer all the paragraph to your PowerPoint, so you become reluctant on deliver all the text, all the story. So I can see that you still stick to the notes. In terms of your PowerPoint became dense or full with text, so you could decrease it with point by point, because however, you are not reading the text here, reading the text from your PowerPoint, but how you can manage your story from your points. Okay, and then for Satria, okay, I just want to know where did you get all the sources, Satria?
Sorry, ma'am, I had a problem with my device.
Okay, I just want to know where did you get all the sources you're reading? Is it from journals? Is it from books? Where did you get all the sources?
I am reading the books, ma'am.
Okay, you're already reading the books. Okay, my point is, okay, what you have read, you understand what it said, and then you can elaborate more in your presentation. So you don't have to read text, even though you have that sticky notes to read that text during your presentation. So do not memorize everything, but instead you just understand what the books said, and then you can freely elaborate and explain it. Okay, rehearse more, and thank you for your presentation, Satria. And then for Iklima, I think that you already succeed to deliver your presentation so far. That was quite confident, Iklima. So, but somehow you still stick to the note, if I'm not mistaken, that you for some time still see the notes with that kind of everything. So try not to memorize everything. So, but try to understand what you want to tell us. So for roughly, in terms of pronunciation, you still need to rehearse more and more. It's okay, it needs time to more advancement, to more improvement, but yes, I suggest we are suggesting you to rehearse more and more in terms of pronunciation and how to spell all that kind of vocabulary. So did you understand all the vocab roughly?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so you understand all of the vocabulary. My point is, if you already understand all the vocabulary, so you will freely deliver your presentation without looking at the text. That's the point here. Okay, thank you, Rafli. I think you should improve your confidence in speaking English, yeah, Rafli. Practice more, drilling more. That's the most important things. And then for Rafina, is it Maluku? From my understanding, is it Molucas, Pak Suirta? Maluku peoples, is it Molucas? from my understanding, is it the similar things?
Moluccas Island, good.
Moluccas? Okay.
Moluccas Island.
Okay. Okay, Rafina, maybe you can switch to Moluccas instead of Malucus people. So it become Moluccas. So as far as I observe, you still stick to the notes. So you became hesitate in elaborate the story. Okay, and that would be all. Yes. Thank you for all the presentations, for all the presenters today. So I will give it back to Bapak Suyarta. Thank you very much, Bapak.
Okay, thank you very much, Ibu Diani. My student, I think what Ibu Diani said and suggestion should be attention. I think it is very critical, very important for you, particularly when you will match the poor people, okay? Although just 2 pages, but what Ibu Diani suggestion and recommendation, I think it is very important for you, very valuable for you, okay? Okay, and I would like to make also the brief comment in 3 matters, okay? Firstly, I would like to ask you about the standard book. And then secondly, I would like to ask you about the maybe historical facts related to your presentation, to your topic. And lastly, I would like to ask you what the relation between your topic in the last and the connection with the currently situation, because one of the criteria if we writing the opinion of articles should be actuality. I think it is very important for the historical study. So we are studying the history, not only about the past time, but also should be related with the currently situation and maybe also with the what is trending in the future. Okay. Okay. Firstly, I would like to ask Ramdan Wahyudin. Ramdan. Hello, Ramdan.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
What kind of standard book did you use related to your topic, entrance of Islam in Indonesian archipelago? Okay? Not in Nusantara. Nusantara is Sanskrit language. What kind of standard book did you use?
I have been with 2 books and 1 article. The books with title Sejarah Umat Islam. The author is Buya Hamka, and 1 book other with title Bid'ah di Indonesia. The author is
okay.
I forget the author.
I just asked you. Hello.
Yes.
Ramdan. I just standard book. Okay. I think a noise from your surrounding area. Okay. I think I suggest you to read about the Rick Lab book. Okay. The Hamka book. Okay. The Rick Lab book also should be read, including also the Aju Madi Ajra book about the Islam in Indonesia, right? Please you silence your microphone because there's the noise voice from your surrounding area. Okay, the second question, you said about the anniversary of the Hussein in Karbala and also Al-Halaj in Baghdad. Could you explain to us what the relation between the historical site of Hussein in Karbala, Al-Halaj in Baghdad, and the development of Islam in Indonesia? In brief answer.
There's a relation about the anniversary of Karbala in Indonesia. There are anniversary in 10 of Muharram by Syiah in Indonesia. Celebrate with anniversary of Karbala in Persia. Al-Halaj teaching tasawuf, celebrate with proses dijenab tasawuf in Nusantara.
Okay, good.
Like that, sir.
Good point. The last question, what the relationship between your topic about the Hussein in Karbala and then Syekh, including also the entrance of Islam in Indonesia in the early period with the currently situation or Islamic Ummah in the currently situation?
Relation with currently is there are a lot of synopsis about Islamic Ummah.
Okay, thank you very much, Ramdan, for your answer. Please be silent because there's very noise from your what is surrounding situation. Okay, Zaki Zelani, are you listening
Yes, Mr.
my voice? Okay. What kind of standard book did you use related to the development of Islam in Indonesia, Zaki?
I'm read a book, Sejarah Nusantara, Kajian Islam in Nusantara, and I read a journal.
No, book. I just asked you about
Oh,
the authors. The authors.
I'm read a book, Sejarah Nusantara,
Yes,
Kajian Islam.
the authors.
Author Sanusi Pane. The author is Sanusi Pane.
I think it is important not only for Zaki but also for others. You should read about the historian work, okay? Historian book, because Sanusi Pane, I think, is the not as historian and not as standard. Sanusi Pane, I think, for the elementary, secondary school, not for the higher education institution. Okay, please you search about standard book. I suggest you read the Riklep book, read the Ajumadi Ajra book, read the Andi Swirtas book. Okay, Tasawuf and Islamization process in Indonesia and so on and so forth. Okay, the second question, according to Ajumadi Ajra, one of the keywords, if we talk about the Islam in Indonesia, is the complexity. What the meaning of complexity in connection in regarding with the development of Islam in Indonesia? Zaki.
Yes. I'm sorry, Mr. Can yeah.
Okay, so please you read about Ajumaja book as a standard book, okay? Not the Sanusi Panes book, because Sanusi Panes book for the secondary school, okay? And the last question, what the relation between the Islam in the early period, similar with the Ramdan's question for Ramdan, the correlation between the Islam in the early period and the currently situation, according to your opinion, Zaki?
Yes, I think between in the entry Islam and the development Islam in Indonesia, it's so different because Islam in Indonesia, in development Indonesia, become a kingdom Islam like Samudra Pasai, like and many more. I think just like that, Mr. So I'm so sorry.
Okay, thank you for your opinion. Okay, next Abu Bakar. Hello, Abu Bakar. Okay, Abu Bakar, hello. Do you listen my voice? Okay, Abu Bakar, you talking about the establishment of POC, okay? Okay, what kind of standard book did you use related to the POC? Hello, Abu Bakar. Please mute your microphone. Abu Bakar, hello. Okay, let's Skype because he don't want to answer my question, maybe. Okay. Maybe okay. Also, you didn't understand what what me and Ibu Diani talk about your presentation. Okay. Okay. Next, Arifara Sabrina. Arifara, hello.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
You talking about the origin of the Pontianak city, okay, and related with the figure of Kuntilanak. Okay, what kind of standard book did you use related to the Pontianak city, Arifara?
I'm sorry, I just only read from the internet and hear stories from my aunt.
Okay, it's not yet enough. Okay, please use searching about the standard book related to the history of Pontianak city. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Okay. My question also: why in West Kalimantan generally and Pontianak city particularly, there has many Arabic people and Arabic figure? Are you also like the Arabic woman? Why in West Kalimantan, in Pontianak, there's many Arabic people and Arab figure? Could you explain to me? No? Please read the standard book, right?
Okay.
Okay, the last question. What the relationship between the Pontianak city in the last and the currently situation, maybe with the what is development of Pontianak city and others, according to your opinion? What kind of actuality of your topic, the origin of Pontianak city and the currently situation for Pontianak city ourselves, Arifara?
I'm sorry, I don't get it.
Okay, okay. Please, you read also the standard book, and also many book related to the history of West Kalimantan in generally, history of the Pontianak. You should read about the Prof. Helwi Samsudin books related to the Kalimantan, not only the South Kalimantan but also West Kalimantan. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Prof. Helwi Samsudin book is father of Budiani. Okay. I think there's many book related to the West Kalimantan and Pontianak city. Okay, the next, Padel B. Saputra. Hello, Padel.
Yeah, sir.
Okay, you talk about the Bogor as the Rhine city. Okay, similar. What kind of standard book did you use related to the Bogor city? Please to answer in
Bogor
Sudanese language.
Masa Reprose.
Pardon?
Yes, sir.
What kind of standard book related to the history of Rhine city?
Bogor Masa Revolution 1950s, 1954.
Okay, the author?
Author Edi Sudrajat.
Edi Sudrajat. Oh, okay. Edi Sudrajat is my friend, my colleague, right? Alumni from Department of History, UI, University of Indonesia in Depok, Jakarta. Okay, but because you are about the history of Rhine city, not in the modern history, should be referred to the ancient history, Padel. So please, you read about the standard book, the Bogor city, maybe the authors from the Dutch historian or from the historian from Indonesia, but expertise in the history of the Bogor city. Okay. Okay. The second question you said about are you comes from Bogor, Padel?
Yes, sir.
Okay, but you mentioned about Sipatuhanan. I think it is not Sipatuhanan, Sipatahunan. Okay. Okay.
Yes, of Sipatahunan.
My question, do you know what the meaning of Sipatahunan? Padel, what the meaning of Sipatahunan? I think consult with your dukun, okay? Hello, Padel. I think please mute your microphone. You didn't understand? Okay, the last question. What is the relation between the history of Bogor as the Rhine city and the currently situation? Currently topic, in order your what is article, your open article is relevant and actual for the current situation. Padel. cannot answer also my question. Okay, thank you very much. Pada, please, according to Budiani, you drilling, practice in English, reading more book related to the English and others. Okay, in Sunani style is never mind because you are come Bogor. Because of that, my style in speaking in English is like Sunani style. Never mind. Okay, what is important? You should be what is drilling practice in English, in listening, in speaking, in reading, and so on and so forth. Okay, next Satria Suhara. Satria, you about the history of Pila Isola. Okay, as Ibu Diani suggestion and recommendation for you, please you read about the standard book. So what standard book did you use related to the history of Pila Isola?
My book, I'm reading the title is Dari Villa Isola ke Bumi Siliwangi, sir.
Okay, the authors?
The author is the Sudarsono Katam and Lulus Abadi.
Good. Yeah, I think Sudarsono Katam good. You also should read about the, I think, Dennis Lombat book related to the last couple of Jawa. Also good. And Haryoto Kunto. Okay. Semerbak Bandung. What is about the Bandung Tempo dulu. Okay. I think it is the standard book. In order you understand about the Pila Isola. Okay. Okay. You said about the Aneta. What the main function of Aneta according to your opinion?
Aneta is the press agency, sir.
Okay, press agency. You press agency for example, whether for the newspaper, magazine, for
yes, newspaper and newspaper, sir. Newspaper.
Okay, so Aneta owned by the Dutch colonial or it is the private agency?
Private agency, sir.
Private agency. Are you sure? Are you sure not owned by Dutch colonial government, but private agency? Please read again the Haryoto Kunto, the other standard book related to Pila Isola. Okay. And do you know who is the Minister of Education and Culture of the Republic of Indonesia in 1954? Made the Pila Isola become the PTPG. Who is the minister? The name?
Mr. Muhammad Yamin, sir.
Okay. Do you know who is Mr. Muhammad Yamin? He is not only as the Minister of Education and Culture in Indonesia, but also related to our department.
Yes, he is founder history education program in the UPI, sir.
Okay, good idea, good point. Thank you very much, Satria. So please, you also read not only the standard book, but also another article in journal, so that your article although there's the 2 pages, should be relevant with the current situation. Okay. Okay, thank you.
Yes, sir.
Iklima, is it Tanjung? Hello, Iklima.
Yes, sir.
Okay, you talking about the Perang Padri. I think as Ibu Diani said, Perang Padri is Indonesian language. Okay, so please your title should be should be written the Padri War. Okay.
War.
Okay. Do you know? I mean, what kind of standard book?
This is the book author by Esmetron Madison. The title is Tokoh-tokoh Gerakan Padri. Is published in Kementerian Pendidikan dan Kebudayaan, Badan Pengembangan dan Pembinaan Bahasa.
Okay, the author?
The author is Esmetron Madison.
Okay, please you read another book, standard book. There's many Padri War. The historian from Unan, Andalas University, okay, such as Gusti Asnan, concerned about the Padri War. Also, the historian from USA, Adre Kahin, I think also expert about the West Sumatra history. Okay. Okay. Next question. Do you know what the meaning of padri?
What, sir?
What the meaning of padri?
Padri is the Islamic reform, not the other people with the Padri people fight, but Padri is the name of a reform Islamic in Minangkabau. This is the name.
I think you should be aware that padri is the Dutch language, right? Padri is the scholars from Christian religion, because this war, according to Dutch perspective, because of that, that said it is the scholars from Islamic religion war. So I think exactly it is good idea if the Padri war should be what is changed, the title become the Islamic scholars war, right? Not because Padri is the what is scholars from Christian religion, right? Padri, pendeta, and so on and so forth. Okay, okay. The last question: what's the relation between you talk about the Padri in 19th century and the currently situation, maybe?
Padri the past and now, sir. Or I think because my dad from Minangkabau, so the fact is Padri is right. Maybe much the other people go fighting, opium and anything, but in now it's a little bit to find that. But wait, sir.
Okay, Clement.
But there still is in Minangkabau.
Okay, so the values, the teaching of the Padri movement, I think still relevant with the current situation, right? Okay, maybe, maybe yes, maybe no. Okay, good idea, Iklima. The next, Rapli, and Ilmi. Hello, Rapli.
Yes, sir.
You talk about the Cut Nyak Dien, okay? Okay, Similar. What kind of standard book did you use for talking about, for studying about the Cut Nyak Dien?
I took the short from a e-journal.
No, I asked you about book, not e-journal.
Yes, I don't have a book.
You are poor man. Okay, I suggest you please read about the biography of Cut Nyak Dien. Okay, there's many biography of Cut Nyak Dien written by historian and so on and so forth. Okay, in order you understand about the struggle of Cut Nyak Dien and as the woman hero in Indonesia, right? Okay, okay. The next, why Cut Nyak Dien should be exiled to the Sumedang in West Java by the Dutch colonial government, not to other area. Are you comes from? Do you come from Sumedang, Rapli?
Yes, I'm from Sumedang city.
Okay, why the Cut Nyak Dien from Aceh should be exiled to the Sumedang city in your kampung, not to others kampung, not to others area? You understand?
I don't understand.
Kunaon atuh Cut Nyak Dien tadi dipicieuna ke Sumedang sanes ke tempat anu sanes duka Pak. Kuman di bendo Okay, the last question. What the correlation between the Cut Nyak Dien case, exile in Sumedang in the I think the last 19th century and early 20th century and the currently situation?
Sorry, sir, I try your question.
Okay, I think
because
you
this connection is
I think
bad.
Miller didn't understand what my question, my suggestion, including maybe Ibu Diani suggestion. Okay, never mind, Rapli. Okay, please you practice in English, in listening, speaking, and reading. Okay, in order what is you can understanding what you're talking about the topic. Okay, the last, Rafina Julianti ini Rafina.
Yes, sir.
Okay. you're talking about the Moluccas Island. Okay, so in English, like the Java, okay, Maluku, Moluccas Island. Okay, okay. What kind of standard book did you read or did you use related to the Pattimura struggle
Sorry, sir.
or Pattimura resistance?
Rafina look for source on the internet.
Okay, you answer about the Pattimura resistance. What kind of standard book? What kind of what is historical book related to the Pattimura resistance in Moluccan Island? Rafina?
Rafina look for source on the internet, sir.
Okay, should be read the book. Okay, firstly, standard book. Also biography of Pattimura oneself. Okay, there's many historians, I think, writing wrote about the Pattimura biography. Okay, this is just the second question. Are you sure the Pattimura is Muslim or Christian, according to your opinion?
Kristen?
Christian? Are you sure?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. If what reasoning? What reasoning, Rafina, if Pattimura is a Christian? Just want to know. Okay, you don't understand. You just know that Pattimura is Christian, but what reasoning? You don't know. Okay. Okay. I think the last question. What the relevance or correlation between the Pattimura resistance, Pattimura struggle in the time of Dutch colonial era with the currently situation, according to your opinion, Rafina?
Sorry, sir, I don't understand.
Okay. So, please, Rafina, it's also what Ibu Diani suggestion and recommendation, not only for Rafina, but also for others. You should be practice in English, listening, speaking, and what is important for you also reading. Please habitually reading the journal, the books in English. Okay, so not by Google Translate, but directly reading the book in English in order your vocabulary, your what is knowledge related to the history in Indonesia and history of the world, I think should be improved. Okay. Okay, I think we have listened and witnessed about the student presentation today, and I think it is enough. And let's ending our lecture today by saying together Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillahirabbil alamin.
Alhamdulillahirabbil alamin.
Particularly the student who will present the topic should be ready, and as Ibu Diani suggestion and recommendation, please good in preparing, particularly because the topic is based on your choice. Okay, so please you read the standard book in order you understand what your topic counselor, and please also you what is practice drilling in speaking, in reading, so that what is you can explaining your topic in good manner. Okay. Okay, thank you very much. Inshallah we meet again in the next time. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you, Mister.
Okay, you're welcome. Thank you, Bu Diani and others. You next.
Thank you, Mr. Thank you.
You can learn from this.